everyone, it's Miss Selena here, and today I'm going to teach you how to make a ballet bun for our spring recital. So there's some different supplies that you're going to need. The first thing, you're going to need a hairbrush. I recommend a flat one, but I only have the round kind. You're going to need some bobby pins. You will need both open ones that look like this, or like this, oops, like that. And you're also going to need some closed ones that either look like this, oops, there you go, like that, or they have some that are curved and look like this. So all of those you can buy on Amazon. You can always find the closed ones at like Walmart, Kroger, the dollar store. The open ones are a little harder to find. These ones I buy from Sally's Beauty. They're like made from steel and they last forever. It comes in a 1 pound box. This is the Sally's Beauty box. It's like really inexpensive and you get like 700 bobby pins. So I always recommend those, but you can get whatever. Also, if your dancer has particularly long hair, you can get ones that look like this. They're a little bigger. This is the blonde one, so it's kind of hard to tell. There we go. They're a little bit longer. These ones you can order on Amazon, and they're still pretty sturdy. They're not as strong as the steel ones. And then if your dancer has very, very thick hair or long hair, you can get ones that are like really industrial, and they're actually curved, and they're like a U shape. So these are the ones that I really like, especially when my hair is long, because I have very thick hair. These ones, both of the big ones, come in an assortment of colors and sizes. The U-shaped ones you can only buy from dancewear stores, so like Discount Dance, or if you were like going to a local dance retailer. The other ones you can buy on Amazon, and just make sure you buy the color that is the closest to your dancer's hair color. Like I buy blonde or I buy light brown. I think I have like one black one, but I just accumulated it from somewhere. The little ones from Sally's, these only come in one color. It's fine. It's not the end of the world if they show in your kid's hair. The flat ones usually come in brown and black. So again, get the one that best matches your dancer's hair color. I usually use the lighter ones. You are gonna want both open and closed bobby pins again. So you're gonna need that. You will also need a hair tie. So hair tie, they come in all different colors. We know this. We always want to use one that is a natural hair color. So we don't want to put a hot pink hair tie in our bun for the recital. So I always use one that is brown, or I've got a blonde one here. In a pinch, I can use black. My hair has enough dark in it that it's okay. But if your dancer has very, very light hair, we don't want to be putting like the darkest ponytail in, right? We want it to kind of blend with their hair. I use like the standard thick ones. If your dancer has thin hair, you can use regular hair ties. Obviously, you don't have to go like heavy duty on like small children hair, but don't use the ones that are like the tiny little elastics that you would use if you were doing like bubble braids or something like that, because they can snap really, really easily when you're putting bobby pins into the bun. So whatever size of hair tie you need. They also have ones that are bigger than this. They're like huge and industrial. So if you have crazy thick hair, you can use that. You can also just use like 2 hair ties if you feel like you need a more secure ponytail. So the last 2 things we're gonna need, we need some hair nets. So this is the kind that I think I got these at Walmart. They're kind of hard to find in Springfield. Again, I usually recommend going to Sally's Beauty because they have the most assortment. They have everything you need. They usually have more colors of hairnet, and they come in like a pink, like paper envelope with like 2 or 3 hair nets. But these ones, I found some at the dollar store today, but those were black. So just, again, you want to get the color that's closest to your dancer's hair. Usually the one that I get is called like light brown, and it's like this color. I can use any of the brown shades. I have never in my life used blonde because it is for very, very light hair, and black obviously would be very visible in my hair. So I try to go for a light brown for my hair color. You want to get as close to matching your hair as possible because we want it to be like essentially invisible. It's just to kind of finish out your bun. The last thing you'll need is either a spray bottle with water, some hairspray, hair gel, hair wax, whatever it is that you like to use on your hair to keep it like slicked back and really secure. Obviously everyone here has different hair, and I'm not going to tell you like what hair product to use on your hair because you probably already know what works best. For most dancers, I recommend doing your hair for the recital, doing your hair when it is dirty. So do not wash your hair the night before the recital or the night before dress rehearsal, because your hair will feel very silky and it will be really hard to hold into a bun. The other thing that I recommend on either clean or dirty hair, use a spray bottle of water. Get your hair very, very wet first. Now I'm not gonna do that today because my hair doesn't really act any differently if it's wet or dry, and I don't like doing my hair wet, but it is incredibly helpful if you have fine hair or if you have curly hair to really wet your hair down so that you can put it where it needs to be. I always say get it wet, especially the roots, when you're starting out, but you don't want it like drippy. We're not trying to make a mess all over. What I'll usually do is just spray some hairspray in my hair and then brush it through so that it's like a little bit dirtier without feeling like wet, just because my hair gets very heavy. So the first thing we're going to do, you would brush your hair, you know, all brushed through our hair. I know if we have curly hair that sometimes that's not possible, and that's fine. We just want to like make it so that we can put it up. We don't want like huge bumps and tangles and stuff. Little lumps and bumps are fine. We can fix those later on. They're not going to be visible from stage, especially if you have really curly hair. Sometimes it can be a challenge to get it like very slicked back. So we want to do what is best for our hair, what is healthiest for our hair to achieve the desired ballet bun look. So the first thing, if you were doing this on yourself, make a high ponytail. If you're doing this on your dancer, I always say have, oh, I'm gonna spray myself. Get my hair a little bit wet. When you're hairspraying little kids, I always put my hand here and then tell them to close their eyes and their mouth. And then you can spray them and it doesn't get on their face. So you can feel on your hand, wait for it to settle before you take your hand away. And then the same thing on the other side. I tell them close your eyes, close your mouth. And then once you feel that the hairspray is settled, you can take it away, and then their face is fine, especially if you have kids who are like sensory sensitive and stuff. So I'm gonna brush through because now it's wet-ish. And we want to make our bun, so this is for if we were doing a high bun, which most of our recital dances will require. If you're doing a low bun, the mechanics are exactly the same. You're just gonna make a low ponytail instead of a high ponytail. So we can assume that on our own. Now we want our bun, we want a diagonal line from our chin up to the crown of our head. So my bun is gonna be right about here. So that's where my ponytail is going to be. And if I do my ponytail here, I'm gonna see the top of my bun sticking up just a little bit. So I tell people, tell the little children, look up at the ceiling, tilt your head all the way back. Mom or dad or grandma or whoever's doing our hair brushes it straight back. We're gonna scoop from the bottom up, and I'll show this from behind also, until you get to sort of a good height. Then you can brush into your hand all the way back. And again, little lumps and bumps are fine. If you have like baby hairs that come out in the back or the front, if you have bangs, we'll talk about that in a little bit. You're gonna kind of slowly gather into that ponytail, put in your ponytail holder. Now I'll show that from behind also so that you can see what it is that we're doing. So, kid looks up, brush our hair. I'm gonna put my hands underneath like this. So I'm pulling up from the bottom, and I'm holding underneath like this. And then we come back around, and this is where we would be combing, and this is where if your hair is wet, it's a little bit more helpful. Again, my hair gets really unmanageable when it's wet, so I don't do that. See how I've got a little off center? That's fine. We use both of our hands to kind of smooth, guide that hair to where it needs to be, to the height that our ponytail needs to be. Once it's pretty centered, we feel like it's relatively smooth, Again, some lumps and bumps are fine. Bunch of lumps and bumps is not ideal. Put in that hair tie, loop it until it feels secure. For me, I usually do 3 loops, but again, everyone's hair is different and everyone is using a different hair tie. So now that we've got this nice ponytail, again, I've got a little bit of like soft spots. You can sort of pull and you can feel if you put your hand like on their head, you can kind of feel like where the hairs are pulling from. So if you were like trying to tighten up a certain spot, I kind of do that all the way around. It's just a preference thing. I like my hair to feel very, very tight and very secure when I'm performing. Now, if you were in a dance that only needed a high ponytail, this is where we would stop. We would get all the spray and all the gel. We would slick ourselves back. If you had like I have like a little bump here, I'm gonna smooth it and then put a bobby pin right in front of my finger. And see, that's my lump. That's gonna be hidden by my bun. If I have a little one over here too. Oops. This is where if you had bangs, you would get them all gelled up, you would slick them back. There's also a little, and I tried to find it, and I didn't know where to find it. Probably have to order online, but I've seen it's almost like a little mascara, but it's like a hair gel. So you pull it out and it's like a clear mascara tube, and you just like can go, and it gets all of the fine baby hairs that a lot of kids have around their face. So that can be really good to just go all around at the end, just to comb those back, and it gels them in and it sticks them really nice. So here we go. I've got a little bit of a bump back here. It's not too bad. That's fine. Again, if I had like shorter hairs falling out, that's okay. We're just gonna leave them for the time being, and we are going to start our bun making process. So this is where all the bobby pins come in. I will be using the big chunky ones today, and then the little ones to finish it off, but most dancers will only need the little ones. And we do want to make our bun with these round ones initially, not the flat ones. The flat ones are better for holding things, holding stuff flat, not holding chunks of hair. So we are going to start by twisting our ponytail. Just a little bit. You don't want it so tight that it starts to like hurt. Just a little gentle twist. And then you're going to twist around your ponytail holder in the same direction that you twisted your hair into a rope. So I'm going to do just a little bit. I'm going to pull it about halfway around. Then I take my bobby pin and I'm going to stick it straight down like this. So it's sticking out of my bun, and you're going to feel your kid's scalp. Don't press it too hard that it hurts. Just go until it stops. Then you're going to flip it so that it is parallel to your kid's head and press it into the bun. And in a perfect world, you feel it go into the hair tie. And that's how you know it's really secure. And we're going to do that again over on this side. Press down, so it's straight like that. And then flip it and press it in. And I always ask the kids as I go, if I poke you, tell me, and you can always take that bobby pin out. Again, I'm poking myself here a little bit. Sometimes you just have to get a different bobby pin and do it again. That one was kind of painful. So let's see. There we go. Yeah, a bun should not be painful. It should feel snug, but it should never hurt. So if it is hurting, we need to find the bobby pin that is hurting. At that point, we're going to keep twisting our little tail and keep wrapping. And we're going to do that all the way around the bun. So that, stick it straight down, flip it over, poke it into the hair tie. Twist, and come around. Now my hair is pretty short right now, so it only goes around once. But if your tail was longer, you would continue wrapping, and it would go around like a cinnamon roll. It would not go underneath. So we want our bun to be pretty flat. We don't want it to stick up like a doorknob. Now, if you have thick hair, it's going to stick up a certain amount. But again, we're trying to work with what we've got on our head. So it's nice and tight. I'm going to turn around now. Okay, so we can tell I've got some little spikes. I've I've got kind of a weird lump, but like I said, we can now see my bun from the front and from the side. It's a nice line, so it lengthens your body. It lengthens your head. It makes it look really, really nice. Now, if you've got pieces sticking out like this, you might have longer ones, you might have shorter ones, you might have more. You have two options. Usually I take a little pin like this, and I just poke it down, and I kind of just put the bobby pin over it. Like straddle your hair piece with the bobby pin, and then stick it into the bun. Another option, you can take some hairspray and just like spray it a lot and then flatten it. And also we are gonna put on a hairnet. So that little wispy piece is gonna be hidden. Now the last thing I'm gonna do before I start like touch-ups for aesthetics is just go around the bun and feel, are there any parts that like kind of feel loose? Like this section here feels a little bit funky. So I'm gonna do just another bobby pin there, right? Do I have any pieces that are sticking up a lot? Kind of back here is a little bit, so I'm gonna try to flatten her out a little bit. I always have a little tail in the back. That's just how my hair is. That's fine, it's gonna be covered. Now, your bun might be a little bit lumpy like mine is, but it might be perfectly smooth. That is okay. So at this point, you've made a bun. Great job. Hopefully the front is still slicked back. If you need, again, I've got some lumps and bumps, but honestly, this will be fine for stage. So you can always, again, reposition those bobby pins that you had, just like so it's nice and smooth. Oops, we're gonna put another one in here. There we are. And this side looks pretty tight still. Yes, so now we're gonna move on to the back of our bun. So I'm gonna turn around again and show you what to do for any like loose hairs, any big bumps, any pieces that have fallen out or kind of look weird. We don't want the back of our bun the back of our hair to be like poofy and sticking out. We want it to be pretty closely shaped to our head. So if you have a little bump, like I've got a bump over here, some weird like fuzzies, I don't know what that is. You're gonna just smooth it up with your fingers until you, or you can use that little hair mascara wand, until you kind of feel like a little clump in your fingers. So I'm holding that. I'm gonna take an open bobby pin, one of the little ones, and again, I'm gonna straddle like that, and then stick it into my hair so that the little bump is now part of my bun. Now, if you have hairs that are falling out, so we've got some baby hairs, let's see. Okay. Loosened up some baby hairs. We've got some hairs back here now. We're gonna gather those together, and I always do just a little twist. I think it helps keep them together. We're gonna pull up, take one of those open U-shaped bobby pins again, straddle, and pull it in. You're gonna do that all the way up to the top of that hair. Now that might uncover new bumps. That's okay, because we have the same thing all the way up. No one is staring at the back of your kid's hair while they're dancing, so if it's a little bumpy, it's okay. We're gonna do that all the way so the back is nice and clean, nice and pulled up. Got one more little fuzzy over here. There we go. Perfect. And again, you can use that little hair mascara wand back here. Also, if you want, probably afford that on Amazon because I've only seen them in person. I've never seen them like at a store. So here we've got our bun. I always have my kids shake their head. See, does it feel good? If they shake their head and it feels like something is falling out, or if you see the bun physically move, that's not a good thing. You want it to feel like it is a part of their head, like they could do anything in the world and it would not fall out. So now it's time for us to do our hairnet. So again, our fine hairnet, yes, and it's pretty big, that's okay. So we're gonna put it over our bun with one side out like this. You're gonna cross it, twist it, and bring it over again. And you're gonna keep doing that until you are not able to anymore. Usually I would just leave it, but most of you will have a little tail here. So you're gonna pinch that tail and take a closed bobby pin, one of these little guys. you're gonna put it in the bobby pin, you're gonna pinch it and stick that into your bun. And then you can usually do like one more bobby pin to kind of push that little hairnet poof away. Oops, there we go. So see how the hairnet really just makes it very smooth looking? Any wispies that I had would be hidden at this point. So at this point, we're gonna do a little spray over the bun, just to kind of stick that hairnet to your hair. And any hair gel, wax, spray, anything else you're gonna do, you can use a comb to really push those bumps back, and then your dancer is all set. Now, many of our costumes this year come with like a hair clip, like a flower or something like that. If you have a flower hair clip, it's gonna go on the right side of your bun, right here. So, right kind of like up from the end of your eyebrow so that we can see it. If you have a bow or a ribbon, it's gonna go underneath your bun right here. That's gonna be right there. And if you have a crown, it's going to sit with the front of the crown right behind your hairline and go like this. So it's not gonna go like a headband. It's gonna go like a crown. And those of us that have sailor hats, we will have a special day during class where I will show the parents how to pin in those sailor hats. It's very easy, but I'm not gonna put on one of your kids' hats to show because I think that would be weird. So if you have any questions, please come find me, shoot me an email, whatever you need. But I would recommend, especially if your dancer does not typically wear a bun for class, start practicing now because we want our buns to be very, very comfortable. We don't want to be scrambling with that come recital week. Again, make sure you have all the right supplies. And if you are confused and you need more clarification, I can always take a minute and show you before your class or during whenever you see me. I'll be doing a makeup tutorial here in a little bit, in a couple weeks, to go over our stage makeup for both our youngest dancers and our older dancers, as well as like some recommendations of like products that I really like for stage makeup specifically. So stay tuned for that, but for the time being, start practicing recital bun. And if you have any questions, if you need anything, I'm right here. Thanks.